Hello and welcome to today's episode of Eye Opener Society. A little different because I'm going to lead it today. But today's topic, I really wanted to talk about the importance of listening to and honoring your body. And what brought it to my attention was because the last episode, when I got off of it, I was like, man, that was so chaotic. And I had so many cool things I wanted to talk about. I didn't feel like I got to any of them. But as soon as I went inside, I pretty quickly ended up getting a migraine. And for me, that always happens when I'm like going like all over the place. And I just was thinking if I had slowed down and listened to my body, I would have postponed recording it and I would have done a better job. But I was so focused on trying to make sure I like met all my commitments that day that I once again just kind of disregarded it. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today was different things to do to kind of remind us to all come back to it because it's just so freaking important.
Well, everyone, you heard from Lizzie, who started off the show today, and that's fantastic. I was waiting for this. She's done a great job. So, welcome to Eye Opener Society. Everyone, please don't forget to check out our dear friends, Appalachian Rootworks, AppalachianRootworks.com. Located in Cynthiana, Kentucky, they're a full service metaphysical shop. They are such wonderful people. Listen, the services that they offer they're just amazing. It's not that they just offer these services, they're very good at them as well. So check them out online, or you could stop in their shop if you're in the Cynthiana, Kentucky area. So, yeah, Lizzie says we're going to be talking about our bodies and recognizing signs, taking care of them, because here's the deal, just like Lizzie said, sometimes we forget, or better yet, we neglect our bodies because, well, everybody uses that excuse, I'm too busy. I get that from everything, especially with meditation. It's just not true. We need to take care of this here body of ours because it houses something so incredibly important, which is our soul. Our soul's not going to feel better unless we feel better. And being mindful of certain things, key things like Lizzie with her migraines and all. And so, Lizzie, you know when these migraines are coming, correct?
If I'm paying attention, I do.
And there's the key. We need to pay attention. We need to find all these little signs when something's going wrong. And then we could start to heal ourselves from there. Um, on a personal note, I've noticed something about me, and I started to get some symptoms with something that I think I need to get taken care of. And I started to do stuff naturally because I don't believe anymore in the doctors. I know pretty much what it is, and I found ways to get around it. I'm not going to reveal anything because it's just going to manifest, and I don't want that. But once we start to notice a sign where something's going wrong, if we immediately focus in on it and take care of it and start picturing the healing process instead of picturing the actual problem, that's when we're going to actually get better.
I agree. I agree. And I throughout the last couple of years I've been trying very hard to tune more into my body. And something that I found is your body really is like your best friend. Like if you think about it, nobody has been through everything with you quite like your body has. And when you really slow down, like in meditations and talk to it, it'll tell you exactly what it wants, whether it's like more nutrient, more rest, or whatever it is. It's like your body will tell you. But I think we're not taught how to do that. I agree with you. I have a hard time with doctors a little bit sometimes. No hate to any doctors out there. You're beautiful. We just go about things just a little bit differently. And I think that it's just so important to allow your body to tell you what's going on before letting everybody else. And this isn't to say to not go get things checked out if you feel called to do though, because that's part of your body's wisdom is when to tell you to do that.
And you and I had an interesting conversation with empaths and how this affects them even more.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you're used to walking into a room and being hit with all of these energies, right? And so now you are in a room with seven people and trying to coordinate the 12 different energies that's going on in the group. you're not going to notice the physical sensations going on in your body that leads you to the hunger. You're only going to notice the point in time in which you're like, oh crap, I have no energy. My brain isn't functioning well. Oh, correct. I need to eat some food.
Yeah, I experience that with my wife a lot, and that's mostly because she's a empath too. And yeah, I've always laugh at it. She says, I forgot to eat today. It's like, how do you forget to eat? I'm always worrying about that. But this is something that empaths do suffer from, and that's usually, an issue. But as individual people, we're all different, right? And we all have different ailments. We all have different physical things going on with us. We need to be very, very in tune with our bodies, which in turn, we're much more in tune than with our minds. And I always say, too, it's mind, body, soul. These are the things that we need to always be aware of and to always take care of. And it goes beyond just the physical stuff like, hey, I could work out every day. That makes my body stronger. It's perfect. But people have limitations on that too, as well. So everyone needs to apply it because, again, Lizzie and I, we're not doctors. And again, yes, doctors are beautiful people. I just don't believe in the whole medical system. Uh, so, yeah, from headaches, I get these headaches too. And I know the three different kind of headaches that I get, whether it's from stress, clenching my teeth, or just because I'm tired. Those are the three headaches that I get. Each one that I get feels different and they're painful at times. But then I know it's a sign for me to now stop, recognize that pain and what I'm going to do with it. It's perfectly okay if Lizzie comes to me and say, Gary, I cannot record the show because of this migraine. It happens. I'd much rather her say that than for her to jump on here with that extreme headache to the point where she can't concentrate and focus on the show. That's not how we do things. And in a spiritual community, especially metaphysics, if we're doing Reiki, if we're doing any other kind of modality, we need to be in the perfect alignment, mind, body, and soul before we bring anything forward to our customers or to our collective, because we don't want to send that negative energy or that bad, painful energy to anybody else.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to kind of watch those symptoms too, because a lot of the times when something goes wrong, at least in my body, I'll notice like a little thought that comes up and then I'll kind of disregard it. And then it's like little symptoms pop up. And if I pay attention to them, a lot of times I can kind of stop something from happening. Like my migraine, for example, for that last episode, I didn't know in that time that I was about to get a migraine. I didn't have any headache yet. But I should have noticed how chaotic my brain was that day and how much more I was slurring my speech than like this my standard talking. And because those are usually the two things that really throw me off, that there's like a disconnect, something that's happening.
Right. And so I guess now the question is, what do we do? How do we take care of ourselves better? How do we notice things in our bodies and what's going on? What are we looking for? Because sometimes the problems could be so small and minute that we just don't pick up on it. I like to do like a damage control, after a workout, after a long conversation, if it was too emotional, something, take a moment now to disconnect yourself from that and do an actual physical check. How do I feel right now? Is there any pain? Do I feel tired? Do I feel hungry? These are the things. This is my way of going about it. This is what I would do. And occasionally I do say, how am I feeling right now? It's kind of a mental damage control that you could do on your body. As long as you practice that and you get yourself in that routine, this is one way to keep yourself in check.
Yeah, for sure. I like that one. Another one that I do is I like right before bed, I like to lay down and just like talk to my body. How's your day going? I'll be kind of like goofy with it. And it's kind of funny, the different emotions that I'll start to feel that kind of come out of nowhere by just connecting to your body. There's so many different methods that you can do. There's lots of different visualizations that can help, but really truly if you just lay down and just like allow your body to relax and feel. We spend all day long trying to force good posture, try to force a good attitude. We're doing so much that like your body just needs to like have a chance to relax and like do its thing. And the other thing I find a lot, and part of this comes from my massage therapist background because I work with people who are working with other professionals. And a lot of the other professionals, whether it's like chiropractors or physical therapists or even personal trainers, everybody has this very linear thinking. When you stretch, you go up, you do a lot of things to the side. And then our lifestyles, everything's kind of like right in front of us or like right next to us. But as I've been doing these intuitive movement things, I'm trying to move really slowly so I don't trip out the camera. But going down like this section right here, I'll watch people and it's like it has to go down forward more in order to come out. They're losing this whole range of motion. But the thing is this space up here is this really tense space. That's where a lot of people put their stress. People are very cliche in the way that they store their emotions. And so, you got the weight of the world on your shoulders. You're having an inability to change your mind. All of this sits right here, and then if we never take that muscle and really stretch it out and let it do its motion, that's how you get stored motion. So this is, I don't know, for the people who aren't on video, maybe this won't make as much sense. But if you interlace your fingers and you push them together and apart, that's how your muscle contracts and relaxes. But your fingers slash muscle fibers will get all tangled up and then it doesn't stretch and release the same way. And that's how you get stored emotions. From a scientific aspect, it's actually the electric charge wasn't able to discharge, and that's what holds the muscle fibers together. But so if you're always going straight up and down or straight to the sides or leaning forward, you're missing this whole space where your muscle wants to discharge this energy. And so the other thing that I really recommend people doing is really branching out and trying to be very circular in their motions, in the way that they're like handling all of their self-care. Everything is so streamlined and linear that you actually stop yourself from being able to communicate with your body because you're only looking at these tiny little pieces. You got to like allow everything to flow through.
I got two thoughts because the one thing I love doing, and if you're watching me on TikTok, you see me do it, earthing. Take your shoes off, take your socks off, and go walk in the bare grass. Touch the earth. The benefits are so amazing until you actually do it and you're actually thinking about it. Because I know sometimes people run around barefoot and all, but they're not understanding what they're actually doing. Where you're discharging all that static that builds up inside of your body and it's being discharged into the ground, the grounding portion of it. Sometimes I'm in pain. And, whether it be a lower back pain or, even a leg pain, I do some earthing. I just rub my feet, across the grass as I'm walking, walk back and forth a few times. That pain starts to reduce to the point where I don't even feel it anymore. Completely amazing. So, earthing is one of my biggest things. Meditation, another one, because when you're in a meditative state, you could picture everything in your body and you could rebuild your body and rebuild cells and everything else just by thinking about it. It's probably more advanced, but the more you meditate, the easier this becomes. That's why I say you have to meditate. And then I want to bring up something else that you talked to me offline about, and the indoctrination part where we sometimes forget to pee, eat, and all simply because of the indoctrination, especially in schools and all. So if you wanted to bring that up on this here episode.
Well, yeah, for sure. I think about it, even like down to when like little kids are little, you have to rely on the adults around you for to get the color cup you want. You know what I mean? For all of these things. And then you get into school and you have to wait to pee, you have to wait to eat, you have to wait to discharge the energy in your body. Everything, your time, your fun, everything is structured and given to you on a plate. And then when we leave school, we do the same thing in college, we do the same thing at our jobs, we'll do it in our relationships. And It's like everything. It's like we kind of just our body is an inconvenience. Caring for it, time like the timing of all of it, a lot of us treat it as an inconvenience. And that's why a lot of us don't notice anything's wrong until we're having like bad enough where we do have to go to the doctor. Is because we're expecting you to, you want to get sick once you have more PTO available at work. And it just doesn't really work like that. You can't wait until you have time to take time for your body because your body will fucking make you. You know what I mean? And so if you really think that you don't have time to care for your body, then make the time because it'll take far less time. And it all comes back from that indoctrination. Because, I don't want to get too conspiracy theory, but if you are so busy mindlessly working to make other people money that you're not paying attention to your body and then you have no time and you're doing all these convenience foods and things, then it's really easy for them to make money for the food that goes into your mouth, the health care that comes out of it, and everything in between it. It's like it creates a nice little network all because you don't honor your body.
It's funny that you mentioned that because, the other problem with that, especially I'm taking workplaces, not all of them, but some of them, like mine, the environment that you're in. If you're in an older building and there's mold or asbestos or, bad HVAC systems, poor lighting, all of this damages your body. And then what you have mentioned too, your body can't wait. If I feel like screaming, there's no reason I shouldn't just scream. Let it out. If I feel I got to get up and move around, I should be able to get up and move around. Now, maybe not all places are that restrictive, but however, at the same time, we weren't really designed for all of this. We were designed to act upon any impulse that we have. So if we do need, oh wow, I'm really feeling anxious. If I walk or if I do some running, it will help me. But if we're trapped inside a work environment, it's hard to do that. And so that's where all this indoctrination, all this is why it becomes more unhealthier on our bodies. So I don't mind you doing the conspiracy portion of it because I totally agree with you and I love conspiracies. So, but you're right. And I appreciate you bringing that up because it's important. It is a lot of stuff environmentally, not just within our work environment, but just pollution and the polluted waters, the things we're drinking, the processed foods we're eating, it all factors into our bodies. That's why we need to listen. When something's happening, maybe we need to make those changes and not being lazy about it. Because so many people say, oh, I can't stop eating sweets. Maybe sweets are killing you. Maybe you should think that way. Change your whole mind. That's what I do when it comes to sugar. I say it's poison. It's an addictive substance more so than drugs. And I keep thinking about that. So I don't do it. I don't eat the sweets. That's the way you got to train yourself. This is how you listen to your body. Is there anything else you'd like to add there, buddy?
No, I was just gonna say that's beautiful. I'm glad you brought it up because we talked about this before too. And here's the last bit that I think really confuses people because what you said there is so true for so many people. Sugar causes so many problems in so many people's bodies to the point where I was convinced that it had to be causing a problem in mine too. And over the years, I've done this multiple times where I completely cut out sugar from my diets. Like at one point, I was on like a raw vegan diet. Like I was so determined to just put only good things in my body that I actually felt like crap all the time through a lot of it. And I get that people say it's because sugar is an addiction, right? And so you have to let it go through. But if you're not eating any sugar for 6 months and nothing changes, you still feel like crap, and you eat the sugar, and now you just suddenly feel better. Maybe that sugar could actually be important for you. The thing is one person for their body, they might need 4 hours of physical activity for their body to feel good, and another person might only need 30. There's this theory about what blood type you have and what like foods you're supposed to be eating. I don't know if it's true or not, but I did look up mine one time and it told me mostly nuts and berries. Well, that's what I could do all day. I could just totally snack on things and then have like a nice big iron rich meal like a couple times a week. And that's probably what's easiest and best for me. That might be a coincidence with the blood thing. But it's funny in my house because we all eat so very differently. And so watching the things that cross in, but I've always let my 11-year-old pick what she eats. She has to try whatever I make. But if she doesn't like a vegetable, I don't make her eat that vegetable. We find another vegetable that she does like. And what's interesting about that is she eats so much more vegetables than everybody else around me. And she's the only kid I know and one of the few people I know that can say, I think I need more iron. I think I need more salt. I think I need to drink more water today. You know what I mean? Like, and it's so cool. But like the thing is most of us back with that indoctrination, we're taught this much protein, this much carb, this much, you know what I mean? All these things. You finish what's on your plate. You don't eat your cookie until after. You don't get it unless you finish the plate. All these rules I never did with her. I put the cookie right on the plate. If she ate the cookie first for dinner, well, like that's the first part of her dinner. You don't get a cookie at the end, you know? But all of these things, it accidentally tricked her into teaching herself how to listen to her body, which is really interesting because she actually does a far better job at it than I do.
It's pretty amazing. I love this episode. I think it was informative and I was completely unprepared for it, but yet we had talked about it because we were going to talk about diets and all that too. We had that one on the back burner as well. And I think this can play in and maybe we'll have another episode based on that too down the line. But I do want to let everybody know that we are going to be interviewed by our old listener friend, Brittany. We're trying to get her onto the next episode. If it all works out schedule wise, this is going to be a lot of fun because Brittany's going to sit and she's going to interview us, and we're going to be talking about the church. And she's going to be, well, she'll be interviewing us about the church. And I'm looking forward to that because Lizzie and I are going to get to sit back and be interviewed by somebody else. And this way we don't got to stress over what we're saying. All we got to do is answer questions. But I think it's going to be informative as well because getting the word out about the church, because that's the next big news that, we got so many ideas. And it'll be nice to start getting some of those ideas out on that episode. And then, speaking of your daughter, we're going to try and get your daughter on too, as well. We got to contact her agent and everything else and see if we can't schedule something. But I think that episode, and I'm not going to give any, revelations why and all, it's going to work out beautifully. I'm looking forward to that too, as well. And we have so many more ideas, but keep following us. Check the synopsis. I want everybody to check out the website for our church. Lizzie still owes me a biography because her biography's not up yet. But the website is a work in progress. But Lizzie and I are both a work in progress as well. And so is the church. So that website's going to grow and build right along with it. So get in now in the earliest points. This way you can watch us grow. And we got some ideas too in regards to that. So everybody just stick with us because we got so many beautiful things happening. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget about our Wednesday night guided meditation episodes and my solo Saturday episodes as well. Lizzie, thank you again for being here with us.